In this video, I'm going to discuss how to use ChatGPT for academic writing. Now, many teachers feel that they should avoid having their students use ChatGPT, or they think ChatGPT is a tool for cheating. But I'm here to tell you that there are ways in which you can use ChatGPT to teach students how to write and how to write correctly. And so in this video, I will go over the many uses of ChatGPT and how the teachers can utilize ChatGPT in their classroom. And so without further ado, this is Professor H, that's what my students call me, coming to teach you or coming to give you suggestions on how to use ChatGPT. One interesting thing about this presentation was that I used ChatGPT and I put into the prompt of ChatGPT how to use ChatGPT for academic writing. So therefore, this whole presentation is a ChatGPT presentation. In other words, the author of this presentation is ChatGPT. So literally, all I did was put into the ChatGPT prompt how do you use it to teach it, how to use ChatGPT for teaching. And then ChatGPT gave me this answer. And then I transformed the Microsoft Word into a PowerPoint. So in a way, all I did was I interviewed ChatGPT on how it can be used for academic writing. And this is what ChatGPT said it can do to help teachers teach writing. So in a way, as I present this presentation, it is ChatGPT that is doing all the talking, for it was ChatGPT that presented all this material. And now a lot of teachers are going to disagree and say, well, I don't think ChatGPT is appropriate for my classes. And it's up to the teacher to decide how much ChatGPT is allowed in their classroom, or whether or not they're going to even have ChatGPT in their classroom, because some school districts have banned ChatGPT altogether. Other schools allow ChatGPT as long as you cite ChatGPT as a source. So it all depends on what the teacher thinks and what the school districts think. So it's up to you to decide, you the teacher, how much of ChatGPT can be allowed in the classroom. But this presentation simply shows what ChatGPT has to say about itself on how it can contribute to the field of academic writing. So that is what this presentation is all about. So here goes now you're going to get to see what ChatGPT has to say about itself on the subject of academic writing. So without further ado, I will now share my screen and share what I learned from ChatGPT about how it can teach academic writing. So ChatGPT, you can introduce the basics. Start by introducing the fundamental elements of an essay. Prompt selection. Provide the students with essay prompts or topics to write about. Model the essay. Demonstrate the essay writing process using ChatGPT. Interactive writing. Have students engage in interactive writing with ChatGPT. Grammar and style. Encourage students to ask ChatGPT about grammar rules, sentence structure, and writing style. Revision assistance. After students have written their essays, they can use ChatGPT to get suggestions for revision. Plagiarism awareness. Teach students about the importance of originality and avoiding plagiarism. Encourage critical thinking. Prompt students to engage in critical thinking exercises with ChatGPT. Peer review. Encourage students to review each other's essays and provide constructive feedback. Practice and progress. Emphasize the significance of regular practice to improve essay writing skills. Learning from example. Show students well-written essays as examples. Balance with human interaction. While ChatGPT can be a valuable tool, it is essential to maintain a balance with human interaction. Introducing the basics. What is an essay? Some essays aim to provide information and facts about a topic, such as in expository or informative essays. Persuasive. Persuasive essays seek to convince readers to adopt a specific viewpoint or take a particular action. Analytical. Analytical essays delve into the examination and interpretation of a subject, often breaking it down into its constituent parts and explaining how they contribute to the whole. Reflective. Reflective essays express personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences on a given topic. Argumentative. Argumentative essays present arguments supported by evidence to defend a specific claim or position on an issue. Introduce the basics. Typical structure of an essay. A well-structured essay follows a standard format that includes the three main parts: the introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. It's essential to use topic sentences to introduce the main idea of each paragraph and then provide supporting details. Conclusion. The conclusion is the final section of the essay and summarizes the main points discussed in the body paragraphs. So basically, the first thing that you can use ChatGPT for is you would put into the prompt, what is the structure of a good essay? And then this is the kind of response you will get from ChatGPT. It will delineate for you what goes into an essay. So if a student does not know what the structure of an essay is, then she can ask ChatGPT, what is the structure of an essay? So it's very important when you use ChatGPT to give it the correct prompts so that it can give you the correct answers. The more accurate and the more detail you put into the prompts, the better your responses from ChatGPT will become. And so overall tips. So you could use ChatGPT to brainstorm your essay, and ChatGPT will give you a logical flow of ideas. It will give you proper paragraphing and indentation for clear organization, incorporate evidence and examples to support arguments. And so if you tell ChatGPT, write a five paragraph essay on the advantages of whatever your topic is, or write a 5-paragraph essay on your topic, and then it will give you a 5-paragraph essay. Of course, at this juncture, many teachers are going to go, wait a minute, the student is supposed to write his own essay. If ChatGPT writes the essay for them, where does the critical thinking for the student comes in? That's cheating, and this is why many teachers are against ChatGPT. So I will show you in this presentation that what ChatGPT shows you is just a template. It's just a template from which the students can then add their own information and tweak it. And if you don't, you could tell the students that if the student just simply hands in what ChatGPT gives them, Turnitin now has an AI or a AI detector that will detect if it's all 100% AI. So just like if you use sources, if you cut and paste sources, too many cut and paste sources from the web, it is also plagiarism. So you have to teach the students that they have to write their own stuff. In other words, they put their own personal thoughts. You could use ChatGPT, what ChatGPT gives you, as a template, and then you still have, the student still has to put in his or her own personal thoughts. And how can the teacher tell the difference between what the student writes and what AI writes? There are many different ways to go over this. Basically, teachers have to become familiar with their own students' own writing styles. Many face-to-face teachers have the students sit down and write pen and pencil a paragraph or so about themselves the first day of class. So that way the teachers have something to base it off of, the writing style of their students, so they can tell the difference if it's AI or human. You see, so teachers have to become familiar with the writing style of their students. And even before ChatGPT, writing teachers had to do that anyway, just so that they know that students aren't copying out of books or copying out of whole websites or cut and pasting whole websites. So even before ChatGPT came along, writing teachers still had to find a way to become familiar with the writing style of the student, so that they know that it wasn't just a book, or they didn't just take it from some website. Now you have to know, now you have to also know, that is, the teachers also have to know the familiar writing styles of their students so that you know it's not AI generated. Prompt selection. This is key. So in order to get the right answers from ChatGPT, you have to write the correct prompt. So you want to choose. You could choose prompts that are relevant to you. You could choose prompts, cultural and social relevance, appropriate prompts, multidisciplinary approach. Offer prompts that touch on different subject areas, open-ended and thought-provoking prompts. You must have prompts that are current and timeless, and introduce real-world relevance to your prompt selection. Also, when you write in the ChatGPT, you can have incorporate prompts that encourage students to reflect on their personal experiences, beliefs, and values, debates and controversies. Introduce prompts that address controversial issues or debates. Multimodal prompts. Occasionally use multimedia elements such as images, videos, or audio clips as prompts. Allow students some freedom in choosing from a selection of prompts. Modeling and one of the great things about ChatGPT is that once a student puts in, write a 5-paragraph essay about X, Y, and Z, then ChatGPT will then generate a 5-paragraph essay that the student can use as a model. And so what you can do is you could have students take a screenshot of their ChatGPT entry. Then you have to that way you know what part of the student essay is from AI. Then you have the student hand in their version. It cannot look just like their ChatGPT prompt. They can use the template, but then they have to also tweak it to make it their own. And so students have to hand in the screenshot of what they got from ChatGPT, and then how they use that. Then they have to show how it's just like back in the 70s when I was in math class and my teacher said that you have to write out the entire equation, not just what the calculator gave you as the answer. We had to prove that we knew how to do the equations. Well, it's the same thing here. You get the template, in other words, the answer from the calculator, and then you have the proof of the equation is the students incorporate the template within their own writing so that it flows. Some of it is the student writing, some of it is the template from the AI used as an outline, and then the two flow together, just like I had to do with having to write out the entire equation besides just what the calculator wrote. So you combine the two, and that way you can use ChatGPT to help students brainstorm ideas, especially for like ESL students who may not understand the structure of English. ChatGPT can then model what a good essay looks like as a templar or an exemplar, and then as students can follow that template in order to write their own essays. And so when I give students feedback, that's exactly what I do. I do give students a template. And so that ChatGPT is just giving the template that I would normally have given in my feedback when students write. And so here, let's pretend that our essay is going to be about the impact of social media, okay, on society. So you present the thesis statement, and then you present a thesis statement about the impact of social media on society. And then ChatGPT will give you, well, social media has had a positive impact on society. In other words, social media gives you increased connectivity. Okay, that's going to be in your ChatGPT response. And then it would say that social media has positive effects on political movements and social movements, and social media spreads news quickly. So those are the positive effects of social media on society. And so that this, and students usually, before ChatGPT, I used to tell students they could just Google, if you get stuck, You can Google the benefits or the disadvantages of social media and then just read the articles that would also give. So in this way, ChatGPT functions in a similar way as a Google search. And then here are other examples of prompts. So let's say that your topic is social media, and then you're stuck. What kind of prompt should I put into well, the same kind of prompt you would have put into Google, for that matter. You would say, discuss how social media has facilitated global communication and networking. You can put that as a prompt. Find examples of how social media has brought people together. You could use that as a prompt. Explore how social media platform serves as news dissemination channels. Explore how user data is collected, shared, and protected. Discuss the issues of data privacy and potential risks associated with social media. Provide examples of successful movements that gain traction through social media. Examine the impact of social media on mental health, self-esteem, and social comparison. Discuss the strategies for promoting healthier social media habits. So these are some examples of some of the prompts that you can use to get answers out of ChatGPT. Or you could have summarized the key points discussed in the essay. And if you get stuck on how to restate your thesis statement, you can put your thesis statement into ChatGPT and then press, and it will restate the thesis statement for you. Also, if you get stuck on, let's say you want to have sentence variety, and you could tell ChatGPT, you could type in your paragraph, then you tell ChatGPT, give this paragraph sentence variety, and it will give you a sentence variety. And then the student has to hand in, a screenshot of every time they use ChatGPT, so that the teacher knows how much the student used ChatGPT for their assignment. Interactive writing. Have students engage in interactive writing with ChatGPT. They can use ChatGPT to brainstorm ideas, receive feedback on their outlines, or ask for guidance on structuring their essays effectively. And so you can use ChatGPT to brainstorm ideas, have students collaborate with ChatGPT to generate ideas for their essays, outlining assistance. Students can share their essay outlines with ChatGPT and receive feedback on the organization and coherence of their ideas. Thesis statement refinement. Students can ask ChatGPT for guidance in refining the thesis statements. Clarification or concepts. If students encounter challenging concepts while researching or brainstorming, they can seek clarification from ChatGPT. Language and grammar support. Students can use ChatGPT to improve their sentence structure, word choice, and grammar. This is essential, especially for students for whom English is not their first language. Feedback on paragraphs. As students write their essay body paragraphs, they can seek ChatGPT's feedback on each paragraph coherence and relevance to the thesis. Overcoming writer's block. Students encounter writer's block and they get stuck. And so ChatGPT can solve writer's block by generating fresh ideas or perspectives, learning from exemplars. Students can request ChatGPT to provide examples of well-written essays on similar topics. Revision tips. After completing the initial draft, students can use ChatGPT to review their essays and ask for suggestions on areas that need improvement. Grammar and style. Encourage students to ask ChatGPT about grammar rules, sentence structure, and writing style. ChatGPT can be a helpful resource for clarifying language-related questions. Clarify grammar rules. Students can ask ChatGPT about grammar rules they find confusing. Sentence structure. If students struggle with constructing well-formed sentences, they can seek guidance from ChatGPT. Writing style tips. ChatGPT can offer suggestions for improving writing style, such as varied sentence structures, incorporating transition words, and developing a clear and concise writing voice. Word choice and vocabulary. Students can inquire about word meanings, synonyms, appropriate word usage for different contexts. Proofreading support. After writing their essays, students can use ChatGPT to proofread their work for spelling errors, typos, and other common mistakes. Clarifying. So ChatGPT can provide explanations of idioms, learning. ChatGPT can provide corrected sentences. ChatGPT can also showcase different writing styles and techniques used in various genres. For instance, you can ask ChatGPT, write a science fiction story similar to Star Trek, and then it will write you a science fiction story similar to Star Trek. Write a story in the style of Ernest Hemingway, and it will write a love story in the style of Ernest Hemingway. And in this way, students can learn how different writers have different writing styles. They will learn that Charles Dickens had pages and pages and pages of description, while Ernest Hemingway just went for the dialogue. Reinforcing language lessons. ChatGPT can reinforce language lessons taught in class by providing additional examples and explanations. ChatGPT can speak many languages. ChatGPT can speak French, Spanish, Italian, Russian, you name it. ChatGPT also speaks Chinese. So you can translate in other words, you can type into the prompt, translate my essay into Chinese, and it will translate it for you. Asking why questions. Encouraging students to ask why questions when they encounter a grammar rule or style rule that they don't understand. Revision assistance. After students have written their essays, they can use ChatGPT to get suggestions for revision. Encourage them to seek advice on improving sentence flow, word choice, and coherence. Submit the draft. Ask students to submit their essay drafts to ChatGPT for revision assistance. Focus on specific areas. Encourage students in their prompt to specify the aspects they want ChatGPT to work on, such as sentence flow, word choice, coherence, or any other particular concerns they may have. Receiving feedback. ChatGPT can provide feedback on areas that need improvement. Identifying coherence issues. ChatGPT can help students identify areas where they need where the essay's overall coherence may be lacking. Word choice enhancement. Students can seek advice from ChatGPT on improving word choice to make their writing more precise and impactful. And also, a lot of these features that ChatGPT has for revision also occurs in Grammarly. So if you have the free version of Grammarly, Grammarly does all of this as well, because Grammarly is also an AI program. So ChatGPT, so checking for consistency. So ChatGPT can assist in ensuring that the essay maintains consistency in terms of tone, style, and formatting. So if you're worried that your essay does not have enough third-person case, and your teacher wants everything in third-person case, but you only know how to write in first-person case, you could ask ChatGPT, transform my first-person case essay into third-person case. And then you cut and paste your entire essay into ChatGPT, press the button, and it will and don't forget to add your name. And then it will then transform your entire essay into third-person case. So therefore, in terms of tone, style, and formatting, ChatGPT can do that for you. Clarity and conciseness. ChatGPT can help students identify sentences or paragraphs that may be unclear or verbose. So therefore, you got to put into the prompt, check for sentences that are unclear or verbose, and then it will do that for you. You could also tell it to correct it for you. So ChatGPT can help students identify sentences that may be unclear or verbose, providing suggestions for making the writing more concise and understandable, addressing grammar and spelling. ChatGPT can also be used to perform a final check for grammar errors, spelling mistakes, and punctuation issues that might have been overlooked. And ChatGPT also is really good with transition words. So ChatGPT can help students determine whether appropriate transition words have been used to create smooth transitions between paragraphs and ideas. And so, and when you do peer review, ChatGPT can help students, encourage students to carefully review the feedback from ChatGPT, seeking to understand why certain changes are requested. Remind students that while ChatGPT can provide valuable suggestions, students should still make their own decisions about the revision process. Multiple revisions. Students can go through several rounds of revision using ChatGPT assistance, refining their essays with each iteration to achieve a polished final draft. That probably involves pressing that regenerate button several times. Plagiarism awareness. Teach students about the importance of originality and avoiding plagiarism. Advise them not to copy content directly from ChatGPT, but rather use it as a tool for learning and inspiration. So then it's up to the teacher to define plagiarism. Start by explaining what plagiarism is and the various forms that plagiarism takes, such as copying someone else's work, using someone else's ideas without attribution or self-plagiarism. Discuss the consequences of plagiarism. Inform students about the potential consequences of plagiarism, both academically and professionally. Teach attribution and citations. Teach students the importance of properly attributing sources and using citations when incorporating ideas or information from external sources. Paraphrasing skills. Emphasize the significance of paraphrasing and summarizing information in their own words. Originality checks. Introduce students to plagiarism detection tools that may be used by educators to check for originality in their essays. So use ChatGPT responsibly. Cultivate critical thinking. Encourage critical thinking analysis when using ChatGPT. Encourage drafts and revisions. Emphasize the value of multiple drafts and revisions in the writing process. Personal reflection. Encourage students to reflect on their own writing process, the sources they've used, and the ways they've integrated information into their essays. Respecting copyright and fair use. Teach students about copyright laws and the concept of fair use. Providing writing prompts. Offer essay prompts that encourage personal insights, experiences, and reflections. So encourage critical thinking. Prompt students to engage in critical thinking exercises with ChatGPT. They can discuss essay topics, evaluate different perspectives, and explore counter arguments. For me, when I teach English 105, I love using ChatGPT to give sample counter-argument paragraphs for students, so that when I teach students how to write an argumentative essay, and then in order for the argumentative essay to be objective and fair, they need to have counter-argument arguments. I can have ChatGPT give students examples of counter-argument paragraphs that they can use, and therefore allowing students to see the topic from various points of view. So let's say that I'm for abortion, and so therefore I would say, I could say to ChatGPT, write me a counter-argument paragraph on someone who's against, or write a paragraph on someone who's against abortion. And then ChatGPT will write for the student a sample counter-argument paragraph. And then the student would then give me a screenshot of the counter-argument paragraph that they got from ChatGPT, and then they would give me an example of how they changed that counter-argument from ChatGPT into their own writing style. And that way I want to see a combination of something from ChatGPT and then something from the student that reflects that student's writing style and his or her personal reflections or his or her own experiences, and then combine that together so that the student makes the ChatGPT sample their own writing so that it's not plagiarism. So with ChatGPT, you can discuss and debate essay topics with multiple perspectives. You can analyze responses. After receiving suggestions from ChatGPT, prompt students to critically analyze the responses. Have students use ChatGPT to gather information on a particular subject and then compare it with information obtained from reputable academic sources. This means that with ChatGPT 3.5, some of the facts the ChatGPT could hallucinate. In other words, not all of the facts of ChatGPT are factual, are accurate. And so therefore, students still have to double check to make sure that the facts that they get from ChatGPT are actually accurate. And so that's why I have students compare and double check the information that they get from ChatGPT. And then because ChatGPT scrubs the web from both scholarly and non-scholarly sources, and so it's a mixture, and therefore it might not be fully accurate. And so have the students go to Google Scholar or to their online library and look up facts from reputable, peer-reviewed sources. Then have the students compare the facts that ChatGPT 3.5 gives and then from scholarly sources. Then students can understand the difference between non-scholarly sources, which is ChatGPT, and scholarly sources, which are peer-reviewed articles from Google Scholar. And so that is a good exercise for students to realize the difference between popular sources and scholarly sources, and also teach students to be wary of not believing verbatim everything ChatGPT says. ChatGPT is in a way it's like Wikipedia in the sense that it's good for brainstorming. It's good for generating ideas so that you don't have writer's block. It's good for coming up with some kind of template or outline for students to follow. But it is still the student's responsibility to double check their sources and to use peer-reviewed sources and not rely entirely on ChatGPT for their academic essay. Also, another caveat about ChatGPT is if you ask ChatGPT to give you APA citations and sources, ChatGPT 3.5 will sometimes imagine or hallucinate it, and therefore it will imagine sources that do not exist. Therefore, you cannot. That's my one big warning about ChatGPT is great for all of these things, but you still have to use Google Scholar. You still have to, it is still the student's responsibility to double check to make sure that those sources actually exist. And if the teacher finds that the student has handed in false sources, you'll get an automatic 0 or an F on that assignment. So you've got to make sure that ChatGPT did not hallucinate the source. But ChatGPT is great for brainstorming ideas, and as well as counter-arguments. So ask students to seek counter-arguments or opposing viewpoints from ChatGPT. Guide students to be aware of potential biases in the information provided by ChatGPT or any other source. Encourage students to fact-check information obtained from ChatGPT before incorporating it into their essays. Prompt students to question assumptions made in the information provided by ChatGPT. In other words, ChatGPT is based on the biases that exist already on the web. Role play. Conduct role-playing exercises where students take on different perspectives related to the essay. So you could tell ChatGPT, write topic X as if I'm a lawyer. Write in the prompt. Write topic X as if I'm a police detective. Write topic X as if simple enough for a 5-year-old to understand. So you could be different people and conduct role-playing exercises with ChatGPT. Critical review of model essays. You could provide model essays related to the essay topic and ask students to critically review and analyze them. Group discussions. Organize group discussions where students can collectively engage with ChatGPT and share their findings and insights. Evaluating AI-generated text. Discuss the capabilities and limitations of AI language models like ChatGPT. And so, once again, have students write their own essay and then have them compare that to what ChatGPT 3.5 can come up with. So therefore, that students understand the limitations of AI-generated texts versus their own writing. Encourage students to review each other's essays and provide constructive feedback. They can also use ChatGPT to cross-check their understanding and improve their feedback. Establish guidelines. Set clear guidelines for peer review, explaining the purpose of the peer review process. Consider allowing anonymous peer review to create a safe space for honest feedback. Provide students with a feedback rubric that outlines specific criteria for assessment. Feedback sandwich. This means that you tell students to give a positive feedback, then areas of improvement, and then positive feedback. So that's known as the sandwich. And during peer review, you could use ChatGPT. Actually, you could just cut and paste some student's essay into ChatGPT and then tell the writing prompt, give me a peer review of this essay, and then ChatGPT can come up with a peer review response. And then you can use that peer review response as a template for your own peer review response when you write up, and you'd still got to put in your thoughts and what you think about what otherwise you don't just simply have the student cut and paste what ChatGPT says, because then ChatGPT can be very boring, stilted. So as a human, you still have to add in your human input into whatever template ChatGPT provides you for a peer review. And so one good thing about ChatGPT is you can analyze different perspectives. It can help you reflect on peer review. It can encourage specific feedback. It can it can give you model essays, and it can give you revision advice. And celebrate growth. Celebrate your students' progress and growth in their writing throughout the peer review process. Practice and progress. And so here you can have ChatGPT help provide a bank of essay prompts, a writing schedule. Encourage students to set a writing schedule and allocate specific times for essay writing practice. Use ChatGPT as a guide. Encourage students to use ChatGPT as a guide during the initial stages of essay writing. Draft and revise. Emphasize the importance of drafting and revising essays. Tracking progress. Have students keep a record of their essays, noting and taking screenshots of when they use ChatGPT so that you can keep a portfolio and you know what part of someone's essay is AI generated, and then you're able to, as a teacher, judge how much the student then integrated their writing with the ChatGPT prompt so that it's not simply only ChatGPT. Celebrate milestones, have peer workshops, portfolio building. In other words, that's just what I said. You encourage students to maintain a writing portfolio where they store their best essays and revisions they made over time. Introduce occasional writing challenges or competition to spark creativity and enthusiasm for essay writing. So for me, one of the best points of ChatGPT is that it shows students well-written essays. They can use ChatGPT to analyze well-written essays, understand the structure of an essay, and learn from the writing style of ChatGPT. So select high-quality ChatGPT essays. Choose well-written essays that align with student proficiency levels and the topics they are studying. Have students use ChatGPT to analyze the selected essays. Ask students to use ChatGPT to identify writing techniques employed by the author, such as persuasive language, vivid imagery, or the use of rhetorical devices. Extracting vocabulary and phrases. Students can use ChatGPT to identify and extract powerful vocabulary and phrases from the sample essays they use. And then you can compare different essays. You can identify different kinds of strong introductions and conclusions. Use ChatGPT to highlight well-crafted introduction and conclusions. Students can use ChatGPT to identify the different types of evidence used in the essay, such as statistics, examples, anecdotes, or expert opinions. Encourage class discussions about the strengths and strategies used in the sample essays. After analyzing the essays, have students practice writing short paragraphs or essays using similar techniques they identified in the ChatGPT examples. So organize peer review sessions where students peer review each other's papers, but nothing can replace the human aspect of a teacher. So don't worry, teachers. ChatGPT will not replace your jobs. ChatGPT is there to complement and to be a good writing tool. And so ChatGPT so human teachers can provide individualized instruction tailored to each student's unique needs, learning style, and proficiency level. Clarification of complex concepts. While ChatGPT can provide information, human teachers can offer in-depth explanation, clarify complex concepts, and address students' questions and doubts in real time. Nurture, and also teachers can nurture critical thinking. And so human instructors foster critical thinking skills by encouraging students to question, analyze, and challenge ideas. Human teachers can provide motivation and emotional support, creating a positive learning environment that encourages students to take risks and embrace challenges and persist in their learning journey. Feedback and assessment. Teachers can offer constructive feedback on student writing, highlighting strengths and areas for improvement. Human instructors can empathize with student struggles and provide encouragement during challenging times. Teachers play a vital role in organizing group discussions, workshops, and peer review sessions. Human teachers emphasize the importance of academic integrity, originality, and ethical writing processes. And beyond writing proficiency, human instructors can help students develop soft skills such as effective communication, teamwork, and time management, which are crucial in professional settings. And teachers can serve as role models, inspiring students to become lifelong learners and demonstrating the value of improvement. So use ChatGPT as a learning tool to brainstorm ideas, improve sentence structures, and provide insights into a topic. But the final essay should be the student's original work. When using information or suggestions from ChatGPT, always put the content in your own words. If ChatGPT provides information or ideas from external sources, make sure to attribute those sources properly using the appropriate citation style. And cross-check with credible sources to make sure that ChatGPT is not hallucinating to ensure accuracy and credibility. Seek guidance from instructors. If in doubt about using content from ChatGPT, consult your teacher or instructor to clarify any ethical concerns. And so using ChatGPT to generate essays without proper attribution or without incorporating original ideas is considered plagiarism. So if you just cut and paste what you find on ChatGPT and you hand that in to your teacher, and then on Turnitin it shows 100% AI plagiarism, the teacher will return your paper with a 0. So you always need to incorporate your own original ideas. You can use ChatGPT as a template, but you still have to write your essay and you still have to incorporate your original ideas, your original thoughts, your original experiences and points of view into your paper to make the paper your own. Plagiarism, if you just cut and paste from somewhere else, just like if you cut and paste from a book, cut and paste from a website, cut and pasting from ChatGPT is no different. It's still plagiarism. So plagiarism is the act of presenting someone else's works, ideas, or words as one's own without giving appropriate credit or acknowledgement. So if ChatGPT is used to assist in the writing process, it is essential to properly attribute any content or ideas derived from the AI language model, just as one would with any other external source. And ChatGPT is not a reliable source because AI language models like ChatGPT are limited. They have vast amounts of text data, and then AI language models may not verify the accuracy of the information they provide. ChatGPT does not provide citations or references for the information it generates. Potential for biases. AI language models can inherit biases present in the data used to train them. And not peer-reviewed. ChatGPT is not peer-reviewed. So academic papers are expected to be based on peer-reviewed and scholarly sources. But ChatGPT is still great for brainstorming, or if you want to clarify, and other AI also does the same thing, like Grammarly. So a lot of this changing of the sentence structure, improving your thesis statement, or improving your paragraphs, brainstorming ideas, Grammarly has all of that function as well. So a lot of this ChatGPT also is found in Grammarly and WordTune, which is another AI, and Quillbot. They are all AI models or programs that can help you with your sentence structure. They can help you brainstorm ideas, and if you're stuck with ideas, they can help generate ideas for your topic. And also, if you're writing a persuasive essay, you could go to procon.org, click on the topic that you're interested in, then scroll all the way down, and then procon.org will give you the pros and the cons of that topic to help you with your counter-argument paragraph. And then ChatGPT can help you with putting in transition words, counter-arguments, help you with word choice and vocabulary, and help you review and refine your sentence structure, which is the same thing that Grammarly does as well. So understand that you have to understand how to write good essay prompts. You have to provide clear instructions to ChatGPT in order to get the answer that you want. You could use a paragraph by paragraph approach. In other words, have ChatGPT correct your essay paragraph by paragraph. You can outline key points and have ChatGPT generate an outline for you, and then you can use that outline to help you come up with ideas for your essay. And then you can use ChatGPT for transition words. As ChatGPT generates the final draft, be prepared to paraphrase and customize the content to align with your writing style and voice. Fact check and verify. Double check any facts, statistic, or data provided by ChatGPT. Revise and refine. Once you have the rough draft, review it critically. If ChatGPT provides information from external sources, make sure to include proper citation and references following the required citation style. Before considering the rough draft complete, proofread the essay to correct any punctuation, grammar, or spelling errors that may have occurred during the writing process. Add originality. Add your own examples, personal touch, to ensure that the rough draft reflects your unique perspective and ideas. Break down the essay structure. First, review the overall structure of the essay. Ask ChatGPT to review your essay for grammar and sentence structure errors. Grammarly does the same thing. If you are using APA style, ask ChatGPT to check your essay for adherence to APA guidelines. Punctuation and mechanics. Request ChatGPT to check for punctuation mistakes such as commas, periods, semicolons, and quotation marks. Grammarly does the same thing. Consistency and clarity. Use ChatGPT to assess the consistency and clarity of your writing. Grammarly does the same thing. Active versus passive voice. Ask ChatGPT to identify instances of passive voice in your essay. Grammarly does the same thing. So if your school already allows Grammarly, then a lot of these functions of ChatGPT overlap with what Grammarly also does. Check citations and references. I wouldn't use ChatGPT to check my references because I would want to make sure that I have my own references. But ChatGPT can make sure that you have a correct, like you first have your author's name, then you have the date, you have the article name, then you have the publication name, date you retrieved the website, and then the website name. So ChatGPT can check your formatting. Evaluate coherence. ChatGPT can make sure that you have a coherent essay. And ChatGPT is not a plagiarism detection tool. It can help you identify potential sentences or phrases, but you still need to turn it in to check for plagiarism. Final review. After using ChatGPT for suggestions and corrections, conduct a final review of your essay. Have somebody else look at your essay. So still have human eyes and a human brain go over your essay to make sure it doesn't sound too stilted. Because one thing that ChatGPT doesn't have, it doesn't have a sense of humor. And it doesn't know that something is stilted. Yes, ChatGPT and other language models may sometimes make up answers if they encounter questions or prompts to which they do not have a direct answer in their training data. It is important to understand that AI language models like ChatGPT do not possess true comprehension or understanding of the information they generate. That's why they sound so stilted. Users should be cautious when relying on ChatGPT for critical or factual information, especially in academic, professional, or any other context where accuracy is paramount. So that's this, and this is what it looks like if you're going to use ChatGPT for references, which is what I did. This is the APA version. I used ChatGPT 3.5, which only goes up to 2021. And then if you want to use a more recent version of an AI, you should use Bing AI, or you could use Google Bard, or if you have the money, you can also buy and subscribe to ChatGPT 4, which is supposed to include images and all that sort of stuff. But right now this presentation is based on ChatGPT 3.5, since I have to assume most people are too poor to get the paid version. But you could also get a shorter version when you go to Bing. So if you use Bing AI, then you have information after 2021. So in other words, if you want to look up the best movies of 2023, you can't use ChatGPT 3.5 because ChatGPT 3.5 only goes up to November or September of 2021. And so you want to use Google Bard or Bing AI, which has, and also Bing AI has all the sources. So when Bing AI gives you information, it will cite the sources of where it got the information from. So if you want to double check sources from what you get from ChatGPT 3.5, you can cut and paste what ChatGPT 3.5 gives you and put it into Bing, and Bing will tell you where all that information came from. So I hope that this video helps you understand how to use ChatGPT, written by ChatGPT. That's why it was so repetitive and so stilted, because this is exactly what ChatGPT gave. And so when you write your essay, you got to do the opposite of me. You can't just simply give a presentation on just ChatGPT. So this, for me, is the first time I've ever used an AI and just used all of the AI, what it said. So I thought of this as a kind of interview, like I interviewed ChatGPT and I asked it, how can I use you, ChatGPT, to teach academic writing? And so as I personalized it and said, and ChatGPT then gave me its answer. So this whole presentation was based on when I gave it the prompt, how can ChatGPT be used to teach academic writing? And then it came out with 12 original, answers. And then I simply put those answers and put in more, each 12. And that was how this presentation was born. And it took me only 20 minutes to come up with all of this information, which originally was on my, I cut and paste into Microsoft Word, and then I went to Office 365 and transformed Microsoft Word into this PowerPoint presentation. Everything just took a minute. So it's amazing how much work this has saved me. This would have been like several weeks worth of work if I had done this myself. And I did it within the space of 2 hours. And so AI truly does make your work, saves you so much time, and you can create this kind of a video in just 2 days. So therefore, if you know how to use ChatGPT wisely, then ChatGPT can be a very valuable writing tool. And so ChatGPT need not be your enemy, it can be your friend. So if you have any questions about this video, you can always email me anytime.